The Mini 2 was released by DJI only 1 year after the Mavic Mini, which is really unusual, as there is generally a gap of at least 2 years before a new version. A lot of Mavic Mini owners were taken aback by this event, and they've been asking if it is worth upgrading their drone. In my opinion, a lot depends on whether the main use of the drone is for videography or for photography. So I have decided to make 2 different videos about this topic. In this video I will compare the function and the quality of these 2 models regarding videography, in order to find out if it is worth upgrading or not. I will soon publish a similar analysis regarding photography. I have done plenty of in-depth videos about specific aspects of the 2 drones. You will find a link at the end of this video and in the description below. So if you're interested in drones, I would suggest to subscribe to my channel. The 2 models weigh only 249 grams, which makes them extremely portable and, even more importantly, open the door to more flexible regulation in many countries, especially for urban flying. Of course, they are not as powerful as the other models of the Mavic line. The Mavic Mini has a maximum speed of 29 mph, against 35.8 mph for the Mini 2. Speed in itself is not important when filming. Actually, to be honest, I never use the fastest mode, Sport, when shooting footage. But more power means better capabilities against the wind. In fact, the Mini 2 should be able to withstand gusts of wind of 24 mph against 18 for the Mini. A plus for the Mini 2 here, although not really a deal maker. I have tested the 2 drones for battery life under the same conditions, hovering on the same spot, and the result was 27 minutes for the Mini versus 26 for the Mini 2, so practically almost the same. The 2 models have the same excellent 3-axis gimbal, and they are both very stable in flight, with the horizon perfectly straight. The most discussed topic about the Mavic Mini, and the main reason for many users to upgrade to the Mini 2, is the transmission system. The Mavic Mini has a Wi-Fi based system. I have had tons of feedback from users, and the experience seems to vary a lot according to their location. Let me start with my personal experience. At the moment I live in southern Italy, in a moderately urban area with some telecommunication areas not too far away. And because of COVID restrictions, I've recently done most of my flying around this area. My experience with the transmission system of the Mini has always been very bad. Huge latency and pixelation in the mobile device, and sadly I experience very often loss of signal and forced return to home. If I go to a wide open natural area, things get better, but in urban environments the transmission is very bad. The Mini 2 has the excellent OcuSync transmission system, practically the same as the Mavic 2 Pro and the Air 2, which is solid as a rock. I have not experienced any issues with transmission with the Mini 2 so far. Apart from some latency with the first version of the firmware, as you can see from the footage shown here. But the issue has been solved for me with the following upgrade. For me, it was really a no-brainer. I simply could not do much with the Mini. But things seem to be different for a lot of other users. First of all, the transmission appears to be better in the US and in Canada compared to all Europe. Apparently because of a different Wi-Fi frequency. Also, people using their drones away from towns don't seem to experience major issues. When I first tested the original Mavic Mini, I was very impressed by the video quality out of the box. It was a huge improvement compared to previous Mavic models, probably due to the adoption of a new video processor and to advancements in the software. Detail, contrast and saturation are a thing of beauty, with a very pleasant bluish color tonality. With the Mini 2, I found the video quality and the behavior in different light conditions to be extremely similar. Really hard to find major differences in video quality between the two models. After all, the two drones share the same sensor and very likely the same new generation video processor. Of course, I've done in-depth analysis of the video quality of the two drones. Please refer to them if you're interested. You will find a link at the end of this video to the playlist for both drones. Here I will quickly put them face to face in different situations to see if we can detect any major differences. Most prosumer drones show a good amount of noise, especially in the shadows. Even the excellent Mavic Air 2, as you can see. Both in the Mavic Mini and in the Mini 2, noise is handled extremely well. Another common issue with prosumer drones is moire, the tendency to have straight line moving independently. We can see that even the mighty Mavic 2 Pro has some annoying movements in part of the buildings. Both the Mini and the Mini 2 handle moire perfectly. There are no unwanted movements at all. The excellent performance is, in my opinion, once again due to the new video processor. In this top-down shot, we can appreciate how the two models handle the fine detail of foliage and tree branches, a very difficult subject to render properly. Both the Mini and the Mini 2 do a sensational job. The detail is simply excellent. But an area that left me speechless is the performance of the two drones in low light. In this top-down scene shot with the Mavic Mini, it was extremely dark. I never shoot video with automatic exposure, but in this case I did, so that you can appreciate how dark it was when I tilt the camera up, revealing the town and the sea in the background. But even under these conditions, the detail of the bare branch of the trees is astonishing, and there is not a hint of noise. Magic. Here we can see footage shot with a Mini 2 at ISO 1600. It is unbelievably still very usable. Obviously not perfect, but it is a huge ISO value. A much hyped new feature of the Mini 2 is the ability to shoot video at 4K resolution instead of the maximum resolution of 2.7 of the Mini. But is 4K resolution a must for every Mini owner? The main target of the Mini or the Mini 2 are users who are mostly interested in publishing their footage in social media, either for fun or for work. They will be perfectly happy encoding their videos in 1080p resolution. So they can very well shoot at 2.7K with the Mini and still have plenty of resolution on hand for cropping, reframing and zooming in post. There are of course arguments in favor of shooting in 4K, first of all for future-proofing your work, as sooner or later 4K is expected to become the standard for video. There is also a small percentage of users who are very interested in 4K video. Since the Mini has the possibility of flying in urban areas under much more relaxed regulation in many countries, some professional videographers could be tempted to get the Mini 2 as a second drone to use in urban environments or while traveling. They obviously need 4K resolution to integrate the footage in their projects. In the Mini 2, the bitrate has been upgraded to a whopping 100 Mbps against 40 for the original Mini. A higher bitrate means lower compression in the resulting files. That should be able to withstand a deeper post-processing. But when I put the original Mini under post-processing test, I was surprised to see that it can handle heavy post-processing almost as well as the Mini 2, even when altering individual colors. The Mini 2 has a new zoom functionality with different zoom depths according to the resolution. The only really interesting one is the 2x zoom factor at 4K, as at lower resolutions there is a very visible loss of quality. It is a relatively handy tool for users encoding their footage at 1080p. But it is a totally digital zoom with loss of resolution, so something similar can be achieved with the Mavic Mini by zooming in post, as the 2.7K resolution leaves a decent amount of room when encoding at 1080p. In this analysis, I'm considering users who are interested only in video. There are two situations when an upgrade is a must. If you're experiencing big issues with the transmission system, like in my case, or if you are a professional videographer who needs to integrate footage shot with a Mini 2, probably in urban environments, with projects in 4K resolution. For users mainly interested in 1080p footage, for example to be posted in social media or shared with friends, in my opinion, the original Mini is a good drone with astonishing video capabilities. The Mini 2 offers some desirable features compared to the Mini, like 4K footage, a bit more power into the wind, and a zoom function. But in my opinion, the upgrade is not needed, assuming of course that you are comfortable with the transmission system. You should now find a link to my in-depth videos about the two birds. If you're interested in drones, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.